All right, we are live again. Special edition this week. We have a full roundtable, so this will be kind of fun this week. You know me, you know Dragon. If you've been following along, you've seen Jazz with us a couple times, Brian here. And we've got our guy Cav Tex, Jeff, with us again. So we're gonna jump right into it. This was a rough week for us, right? Nobody really. I mean, maybe before the game we had some fun, but it was not fun for 60
No.
minutes or however long that went on.
No, I was in a very fun building at the game,
Mhm.
and none of us were having fun.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, biggest thing coming out of this, obviously the Who's lost their second game of the year, first conference game though. Remember, the NC State game doesn't count as an ACC game, so kind of a blessing in disguise for us there. But the big takeaway coming out of the game, though, is that Chandler Morris went down with a pretty rough injury. It seems all indications are concussion, right? I don't know that was ever officially announced, but that seems pretty clear that's what's going on.
That's what he's going through. It's a protocol for it. So,
Mm-hmm.
or he went to the protocol and maybe passed. Is what I'm hearing. Which I have. I mean, I have no idea how. To be perfectly honest.
Yeah, which there's a whole process to that too, though. I think they have to go through certain steps. I don't know the full extent of how concussion protocol works, but I think at this point it's kind of a cautious optimism, is what I'd probably call it. Like it by the way it's sounding. I mean, Des Kitchens did an interview today that said he expected Chandler to be at practice. I think Rounds got around with the Cam Robinson talk about getting the quarterback back in the mix and how he felt better about going forward. So I mean that all sounds pretty optimistic. That said, though, I don't think he's like out of the woods yet. Like I feel like there's probably still stuff he's got to. I mean, I don't know exactly how that works, but I feel like this is going to be like a last minute thing where we'll probably find out Saturday. If he's going to be able to play or not. I don't know that they'll be able to announce before that. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine they'll test him all the way up until Friday night, maybe even Saturday morning, even if they know what the outcome is. I mean, it's funny how 180 I've come on these sort of things compared to, and I'm sure Jeff, you're probably the same way. You came through a similar area as I did, where like that just wasn't a thing, quite frankly, and so you just played through it. And I spent most of my adult life thinking and feeling that way, and but as I sit here now as a middle-aged man who deals with the knock-on effects of it and sees what, I can't deny what science tells us about it, and I'm much more, cautious about those sort of things. I'm like, you know what? Like, I don't know. But it's also tough. Like, if you're Chandler Morris, you have 4 football games left in your career. Do you really want to stand down for one of them? So,
I mean, as a soccer referee, I mean, we have to go through this extensive concussion protocol training every year, and you cannot tell as a non-medical professional. And so we're trained that anything that even appears to be a head injury, they are not allowed back on the field until someone clears them that is approved. And what's interesting is in the soccer world, if you're doing like a high school game, even if there's somebody in the stands, I'm a neurosurgeon, I say that person can go back on. If they're not the approved person, we cannot let them back on the game, and we can get yelled at. Yeah, and we get yelled at quite a bit. So I mean, they have to be super, super careful with this. And just to expand on the actual injury, that was a nasty hit, and I just feel like they should have kicked that guy out. I know it would have changed anything, but that completely changed the entire dynamic of that game because our defense played so well in that game. And even though Chandler Morris wasn't playing that well before the injury, I still feel like we would have won that game if Chandler had been in there for the whole game. And it just really irritated me. I mean, I'm still pissed off. I mean, like
it took the win out the stadium. I think we all knew. I think almost all of us were in the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, I'm still mad about it. I'm mad because it just irritated me that's why we lost the game because and that player got away scot-free. It just irritates me.
Well, it got worse too. So I watched it from home. The announcers were basically defending the hit the entire time.
Yeah.
I mean, They kept
That's
on like,
crazy.
oh, well, he didn't get hit in the head, and this and that. I'm like, he's on the ground. Like that is very clearly a penalty. It's supposed to be ejected for. I mean, I don't know why they didn't. It made
That's
no
what I
sense.
saw from the angles I saw was he definitely had given his body up at that point
Absolutely.
and was on his back, if I recall.
Yeah, he was back down on the ground. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's what I saw. I mean,
I don't know how.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't think that he was hit, that he was not a defenseless player.
Exactly.
I mean, he was in the sliding motion. The one guy that came from, remember correctly, the guy coming from the right or the guy coming from the left, he could have easily pulled up, and he kept going. I mean, so he knew. I don't know if he was going for the knockout hit, but he probably was.
Yeah, he came in with bad intentions. You don't.
Oh, he was. Yeah,
lead with his shoulder like that. I mean, and again, it's frustrating because it makes me do a lot of reckoning within myself because it takes me back to an era of when I played, where I'm like, that's exactly what you do, and that was an era when you would try to get the best player out the game.
Well, yeah,
and I understand, and I would say that even in the modern era, like as best you can, you want to do what you don't necessarily want to hurt someone long term, but it is a violent sport. That said, it is still, we have these rules in here for a reason, and you may as well enforce them to some degree. And when you look here, I'm looking at the box score from the game, which I've only looked at once so far, and I'm looking at it now. I'm just like, one, it's a terrible game, but if you just showed some of the box score and didn't show them the score, you're like, there's no way that Virginia should have lost this game. I mean, Wake's offense was somehow worse than Virginia's, which is saying a lot. But
they had some timely, they were awful. Their offense was awful, but they also made some timely plays on offense that kept the ball from us. They
got off the field. They extended
quarter.
drives very well in the second half. I mean, you're looking at a team that put up 203 yards total offense. But the Hoos also turned the ball over 3 times, which was directly related to Chandler not being in the game. There's no other way to put it than that.
Yeah.
I think what's that?
For me, the 2 major reasons we lost that game, well, 3 outside of the concussion. Number 1 was special teams. Clearly let that single touchdown was on special teams, and that wasn't included in any of that yardage totals. So if you add those yardage totals to the special teams, with the special teams touchdown, we probably lose the yardage battle there. And the second one was the second to last drive in the fourth quarter, because we had them 3rd and long 3 times in a row, and we let them make it, because if you don't let all 3 of those 3rd downs be converted, then we have a shorter field. And I know Kalen did a good job, and we had that one run where he did the spin move and he went through, and yes, that's great, but we wouldn't have had to do all that, and we'd have a shorter field.
Well, and more importantly, you would also add about 3.5 minutes instead of what was it, a minute and a half or whatever it was when the Hoos finally got the ball back. But
I'm not entirely sure Kalen could have done anything with extra time, but
I mean, it doesn't hurt because not to get there already. I will contend that the way they rushed it on the 4th down play was a big reason why that play was so disastrous.
Yeah.
I get that. Yep.
That extra 10 seconds of just being able to let them huddle, and especially with a first-year quarterback, that's what I'm going to call Kalen, because that's what he is. He hasn't played football essentially in a year and a half now. He could have used a little extra talking to and a little bit more Des in his headset to kind of talk him through what we're doing here instead of just scramble, here we go, fade route to the corner. But, I mean, Jeff, you hit it on the head, though. Like, the Wake Forest offense were as bad as they were, to what Jazz just said, like when they needed a first down, they got it. First downs. Yeah. And, I mean, that's football, unfortunately, or fortunately.
I'm going to try to get that light off. Hold on 1 second.
The special teams point dead on. I try to defend the kickers as much as I can, but
That doesn't work.
I don't remember it exactly. Was that just a poor angle? He angled it off to the near side. I was on that side of the field, to the right hand side of the field. I guess if you're looking away from the hill. Did he miss his coverage right there, or what happened right there?
Well, he just hit a he hit a hosel rocket. That's what I call it. I mean, he just hit a low line drive that bounced, and it bounced right into the return guy's hands, and all you guys know that anytime the ball is on the ground, guys forget about their lanes. They slow down, they stop running, and I'm going to tell you what, I don't know who number 68 is. You guys probably know who he is. He was on the punt coverage team. What the fuck was he doing on the punt coverage team? I guarantee you that's the most that boy has run in a long time.
Yes, in the guard downfield.
Why was he on the punt coverage team? And I know it was probably, the punt safe thing where, we were really, the punter had Sparks hit a decent punt. He could have flipped the field. There's no way they score that touchdown. And, who knows? The game may have changed at that point in time, because it would have been what? Then they score, kick a field goal in addition to the touchdown after.
They got a short field right after.
Short field, we fumbled, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So they got the fumble right after. Yeah, they get 88 yards on the punt return, which, to your point, if he angles it to the sideline, that goes out and get the ball inside of their own 20. Probably into half right there, in all honesty.
Exactly.
They go into the half and it's 6-3 still, or 6-0. But instead, so basically that's what it is. I mean, and Elliott Tuffle went in the middle late. They lost him in the late right there. I mean, that was a 10-point swing.
Big time.
And it absolutely took the air off the building. I mean, absolutely. And then, and not only was it a 10-point, there was the most catastrophic. You had essentially 2 turnovers, the punt return. And then that fumble gave him the ball at the 48 or something like that. And it was, they killed the clock and got a kick. And there you go.
Yeah, he's had 2 really bad games in a row.
Yeah.
The game at Cal, I mean, he hit one, I think, about 12
He almost
yards.
cost us the game at Cal, and he shanked that one off his foot.
And that's that, as a former punter, it's unacceptable. Unacceptable.
So, I know, in my kicking experience, that's usually me having one if I was rushing, or 2 if I'm just trying to boom it and I get too much leg into it and just, as a result, my leg's not coming through in the right angle and I just missed the ball. Is that what that is? Is it, or I know he's had some guys around his ankles a little bit a couple times this year. You think he's getting a little nervous or what?
I think he's got some stuff going on up here, and when you shank one like that, I don't know if you guys play golf, but it's a lot like a golf swing. It's all muscle memory, right? And the other day I was playing and I hit a hosel rocket, and I said, "Wow, that looked like one of our punts." It just went completely to the right. I don't know how that happened. Don't know how how the ball went that way, but he probably was a soccer player. And those guys have a tendency to kick across their body. If you watch them, their right leg will come across their body. I couldn't kick a soccer ball. I kick straight on, Jazz. I know you guys probably never seen those guys before, but I worked on going up and up straight through and up through the ball. But that I think too, looking at some of his kicking the last couple weeks, it looks like they've moved him closer to the line. He's only at 13 yards depth. And it almost looks like they've tried to make him a 2-step punter instead of a 3-step punter.
I'm about to say they're speeding him up then. Yeah.
They're speeding him up, and that will affect, if he's not used to doing that, that's those guys are different. They get
he's
in their
also
own head
kicking straight ahead too. I don't think he's doing the soccer punt or that punt where you
No.
Because that's the other one, the NFL one where they
the rugby punt,
align the ball. Yeah, they align the ball kind of sideways.
Yeah,
so kind of.
I was just talking about his leg swing. His leg swing is natural, and that's and that usually guys that play soccer that shank the ball when they punt, it's because. The way their legs.
If he's got a little bit of that in his background, to your point, and now he's gone from a 3-step to a 2-step, that leg's just coming, like I said, a little too fast across or a little too slow across at the release point, he's going to miss it. He's missing the meaty part of the ball right there, and then especially, because everyone wants to do the rugby point now, hit the fat part of the ball and get that nice big up and under, which is ironically, I don't like that much for football, even though I know how effective it can be. I miss the old days of directional punting. I wish that NFL college football would go more into that. So, like in that case, like that kick, that ball should be going to the coffin corner. Like just put it down the corner somewhere and let it live instead of this. We're going to boom it up and up and under, basically what we would call a Gary Owen kick in rugby, because he's the guy that invented that ball and try to get under it. But
I'm not sure why the left-footed guy who handles our kickoffs, he's got a long last name, sorry, but he filled in nicely for Sparks whenever
he looked great the last couple or those first early mid-season. He was in for like 2 games, 3 games. He looked great. We didn't have any problems actually those weeks.
If you have watched at halftime, they both stand there and they punt together, and the other guy can kick further. So I mean, like by far, like 10, 15 yards every time they alternate kicking at halftime.
Right.
And the other guy can kick it much further.
Yeah. What year is he? Is he a second-year guy?
Yeah, I'll look. I have the roster right here. Oh, by the way, your number 68 he's a fifth-year offensive lineman at 300 yards or 300 pounds. So
good for him getting down the field.
Well, my problem with that coverage is the number of guys that we had wearing a jersey number 60 plus was just ridiculous. Like, I don't know. Do you see Jameer Carter was the second guy that got there?
Yeah.
Like
no reason for those guys to be on that. I mean,
no, absolutely.
Every other team in the world uses their second string linebackers, defensive ends.
Yeah, you got to put athletes out there.
Athletes, right? Guys that can chase somebody down.
Out there, even. I mean, come on, like something. I mean, I don't get to. It's something I've never said anything about, but it's kind of irked me this entire time. Is our personal protectors, like the 3 guys there in front, back off the line, but in front of the punter. We don't have anyone there that could take a snap for any type of a fake or misdirection. Like it's 3 massive dudes with numbers like in the 70s, and it's like what I don't get the whole strategy there to not have any type of variation off of it.
Our strategy is it's to Jeff's point. Whose strategy there is they basically run a safe punt every time. It's to buy as much time as possible, and ideally you would think they're trying to boom it and get a fair catch call out of it.
Get a fair catch, yeah.
Well, you would think part of that would be.
The problem is when you have an inaccurate kicker, it kills that ability.
Exactly.
So Captex, the backup punter that does the kickoffs is named Elijah Silbeck, and he's a 3rd year, so he should be our main punter next year.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, he's a big guy too, and he's like 6'5" or something.
Yeah, he's real big. Like he looks.
He's
like he should not be a punter.
Yeah, exactly. He looks like an athlete, not a punter, right?
Yeah, he's like a tight end walking around out there somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, special teams.
It wasn't a good game, right? It was ugly. Everything about it was a mess. We talked about it last week, saying 3rd down was the down to watch. Jazz mentioned it a little bit ago, but on that key drive that we were talking about, I think it was 16 total plays. They converted 4 third downs and ended up getting a field goal out of it. So, I mean, you're talking time, you're talking points, you're talking everything that, the Who's have been so great all year at shutting teams down on 3rd down, and they just kept breaking on that drive. I mean, they just couldn't do that. And I don't know how many times it was because he scrambled. I think it was all 4 of them.
Yeah, they were all. Yeah, it was the QB. It was Sean or whatever his name was. What's his name? Jeez, Ashford with his legs getting it done. And I mean, the defense was tired, man. Like, they played over 30 minutes on Saturday night. Like by that point, like that's what you want to be on the offensive side. Is you get that deep. They've been on the field at that point 20+ minutes. They've seen upwards of 70 snaps at that point probably, and. It's a little bit harder for those linebackers to scramble around. It's a little bit harder for those DBs to come out of their breaks. And, you just get little breakdowns. And then if you have an athletic quarterback who's unaccounted for, but, I mean, honestly, I texted it to Jeff. I texted you earlier. I'm like, take out the fandom. That was a horrible game to watch. That was one of those
Awful.
games I would have been so mad I sat through it. I'm mad I sat through it, and I'm a Virginia fan. But this was just a bad game. Both teams played poorly. Both teams' quarterback. It's the worst quarterback play I've seen all year. And I watch a lot of football. I was in a high school game the night before, and I saw a better quarterback play. And I'm not even kidding that. At least not from Nelson, but from mathematics. That is from either one of the quarterbacks. Yeah. No, I was up in Virginia.
Oh, you were in Virginia? Okay.
Yeah, I was up in Virginia watching high school football.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So that was the first game both my sons ever saw live in person.
So they'll never watch football again.
Well, my oldest son was just like, I don't really like the sport at all. So I was like, it was just a bad first game for both of them.
Yeah. I mean, there was just nothing exciting. Yeah, the punt return was the most exciting thing in that game. And that wasn't even the Who's who did it. The Who's did nothing.
Yeah, and they both stared at me like that. They both were like, that wasn't good, right? And I was like, no, that wasn't good at all.
Nah.
But even with all that, though, they were in it until the last second. I mean, they threw a ball to the end zone that was not a Hail Mary. I mean, there was an opportunity. They absolutely rushed it there, Dragon. You're dead on that. And even if you take just everything that happened in the game and you leave it the exact same, but you say Chandler Morris was playing that last drive, he wouldn't have rushed that play. You know what I mean? Like that's part of having that first year quarterback in that kind of bit him off.
Yeah, no, I mean it was 4th and 6 from the 20 or the 18 or something like that. Like that's and they could have gotten the first down.
It was under the 10.
Was it under the 10? Okay.
It was 4th and 3 at the 5 was where they were at.
Yeah, it was very close. Yeah.
There was enough time to get a first down and run because the clock would have stopped with the chain moving. Like you had 25 seconds when they snapped it. You could have got a first down, a little 5-yard out, got out of bounds, and then reset it and have 1st and goal, and probably ran 2 plays. In all honesty, even with no timeouts, like there was enough. You can do a lot in 25 seconds on a football field from inside the red zone. You just.
I mean, but he I don't know if where I saw. So I saw it. I thought he almost caught it. So from on TV, did he almost catch it? But it looked like he almost caught it from.
It didn't look from. I was on the opposite end. I was on the opposite end.
Okay, so from where I saw it,
terrible.
Okay,
it looked uncatchable the moment it left his hands.
The problem too was it was the only route in the play. I mean, it was a one route, nothing else to it. I mean, there were other guys on the field, sure, as pass catchers, but they weren't doing anything.
No,
that was the moment how to get to Edgerrin, let him make the big play. I mean, he's a big target. He's got sure hands. I give him all that, but to put that pressure on the backup, you're rushing through the snap. You've got one read, so he's staring it down. There's no misdirection, no deceiving given. And you're trying to get him to make basically a corner throw like that. That's a tough
back shoulder throw.
It wasn't an easy play for him either.
No, that fade route's a tough ball to throw. And I think as fans, we're accustomed to seeing it now because you see it in the NFL has perfected it because every NFL team has a 6'9" receiver who can jump out the gym and looks like Megatron. But, I mean, that's a very difficult. You're absolutely right. And when you only have one route, he had to place that ball from about an 18-yard throw, 15-yard throw, over 2 defenders into a corner and missed a corner at the back of the end. Like, that's a very difficult play for a quarterback who at that point had completed 18 passes. And I don't think any of them had been over 15 yards.
No, and what sticks out to me about that last drive was the third down play right before that when he looked like he threw a one bouncer to our guy, and and I was like, why? You should have thrown that one up in the stands, right? Giving him a little more time. It was a poor throw. I wonder. I was texted a friend of mine that was at the game, and it works at UV. I said, "Hey, did you see what's his name? Danny? Is it Kalen?
Kalen, yeah.
Kalen, yeah. Kalen. I wonder if he was on grounds this week carrying the football everywhere he went.
He should. I mean, he should be. I mean, his fundamentals. And I'm not trying to back on the kid, but like his fundamentals were bad. I mean, the O-line didn't give him a lot of love. They did not help him out any, but his fundamentals were bad. Like that first fumble before it even happened, I was saying the next one, I said that's gonna be a fumble. Like he was carrying the ball around like it's a loaf of bread. Mm-hmm. And that's 101 right there. You can't. Every defender just gets, their eyes get that big, and they're swinging at that bad boy.
And I,
Yeah,
I think that's something too that we could take issue with as fans, as far as what the coaching staff goes, to not have him more prepared. I mean, I don't think it's any secret that Chandler's been playing banged up, right? Like, it's been talked about. I mean, it's very noticeable in the drop off in performance out of him in the last few weeks. The Cal game was better, I guess. Maybe he got a little more comfortable, but like he's a
He's been
smaller
banged up since
quarterback.
William
Part of the
Mary,
game is
basically.
him running, and he'd already been banged up a little bit. Like to not have had the backup in a better spot. I mean, I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Same. That was the first time. Like, I mean, I have minor gripes here and there, but what the staff has done this season, as as everyone would. But that was my first major. I was like, Allen could
he
not be
wasn't.
that unprepared.
He was, and what I have to go off of was 1980s, right? But it was still, the backups even back then were getting 30 to 40% of the snaps in practice because we ran a veer option type offense with Mikowski, and he ran a lot, he scrambled a lot. The first couple of years we didn't have a great offensive line that could protect him, so he was always running for his life. So the backups got a lot of run in practice, and that's where the rubber meets the road. But think about the last time he was in a game situation, BFE Nebraska, against guys that 5'4",
Yeah.
defensive ends. I mean,
That's what he played like. And
yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what he played. You're absolutely right. I mean, I guess he played some mop-up duty against Coastal and some mop-up duty against William and Mary, maybe. But, like, to your point, that was essentially he may as well been playing high school ball in Nebraska against William and Mary's third string, whatever was in the game. He got in there.
I don't know. I mean, I've heard some stuff about how he's got a pro arm.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
Again, I mean, he went 18 to 28 for $145.
Yeah, when he only went downfield farther than 7 or 8 yards one time, he overthrew a go route. I mean, that was his only shot farther than even 10 yards downfield. Like, it wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, he averaged 5.2 yards on 18 completions. That's abysmal. Right. That's not modern football.
Yeah.
Maybe that works for Mikowski back in '82 when you're running a veer, but they ain't gonna fly.
No.
At least he can back it up with his legs. So Caleb wasn't even doing that.
No, I wonder too about what kind of coaching he was getting during the game. Okay, this is your primary target. He's your primary target. If he's not open, throw it away.
Well, I mean, I'm sure that's what it was. I mean, we know enough about the staff to know that if Dez and Tony don't trust the quarterback, they're going to shrink that playbook to basically one route option. So it's the reason AC is not here anymore, because he couldn't play by it, and then everyone else has been here, and that's what they played by.
Yep.
And but to me, again, that's where back to the preparation part you were talking about, Jeff. Like, knowing what they'd have with Morris. Again, he hasn't been healthy in 10 weeks now, basically. They should have a Kalen package of at least 7 to 10 plays that they know, Kalen, we've drilled this a million times over the last 4 months in practice, and we're going to run your first time you get in there. I know it's a bad situation. Your first 7 plays are going to be scripted. They're going to be this, and 3 of them might be you just handing it off. 1 with an RPO, but like things that you've done that are just muscle memory, and everyone on offense knows exactly what to do to get Kalen running. And it did not seem like that was the case at all. They did not have a Kalen package ready to go. It was take Chandler's package and put it in a box and simplify it.
Yeah, they you're right, Dragon. I mean, they probably reduced it to, I don't know, probably 75%. I don't if that much. I don't know, but a couple things about play calling, and I'm done talking about play calling, either on the message boards or all that kind of stuff, because it's easy to sit back in the Barcalanger and go, well, we should have done this, we should have done that, whatever. But he has got to stop throwing on first down and just locking in on one guy. And then the next play, it's 2nd and 10. And what are we doing? We're running the little fake read option thing, right? Like, oh, he may pull it, but he did pull one. And then after about 30 yards downfield, a gorilla jumped on his ass, and he couldn't outrun those two guys. I thought for sure that should have been 6. But the play calling, it's almost predictable, and he did such a great job early when things were going so well for us. And I know players make coaches look great and players make plays, right? But some of the play calling, it's almost like we have gone into a shell and we are trying not to lose.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see us go out and give the effort, try to win the ball game, not try to, not go into some football 4-corner shit. Right.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
No, that's well said. I mean, it definitely, Josh, you and I have talked about this since week 1 when those early games, the offense it was open and they were running interesting plays with a lot of pre-snap movement, putting more to the edge, putting guys in different positions to do different things. And you've nailed it the last 4 weeks, 6 weeks, maybe. It seems like we've taken all the wrinkles out of the offense. And I don't know if that's because of too many new faces on the O-line, too many limited options in the backfield, Chandler banged, whatever. But to your point, it's become very sensible what they're doing or predictable. And the few times we've had big plays, like in the Cal game, we got downfield a couple of times, like Ennis and stuff. And it's like, oh, it's because they actually do something a little. They're putting them in motion. They're making the defense asking questions of the defense. And it's just something they don't do a lot, unfortunately, right now, for whatever reason. It's like they've gotten too comfortable with the defense. As the defense got better, they let the offense rest. And it should be the opposite way. They should take more chances now because they have this defense that's arguably one of the best we've seen in Virginia in the last 20 years.
Oh, no question. And you can put it on the defense if you are, 1995 Nebraska, when you hand the ball off to a tailback and he's already, downfield 7 yards because those guys have buried, the D-line and the linebackers. We don't have that. We got to run some, we got to pull some guards. We got to do some traps. We got to do some tricky things up front to beat the guys across the line because, once Danny came in the game, 8-9 guys in the box
camped out. They set on everything.
Yeah.
I mean, even if that's a place where even there you pull a Cal, you pull up one trick play there. I know it's with that quarterback, but at that point in the third quarter, nothing else is working because they're sitting there are 9 guys in the box at one point.
Right.
Almost inside the hash marks.
Yeah, exactly. I know.
It means they're in goal line, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Look like right. I don't know.
Well, I do think, though, that some of the injuries and banged upness do kind of play into that. I mean, what drives me nuts watching it is at the beginning of the year, we were running sets with, we get down close to the goal line, right? All of a sudden, there's 7 offensive linemen and 2 tight ends in. So 9 of your 11 players are strictly there to block. The other 2 are there to hand the ball and to score. And now, we got down to the goal line and we split everybody out but the center. We're running these like wild trick plays. And I think, guys like Wigginton, I think York was out or he's been, banged up or whatever. Brady Wilson just getting back. He's been a little not as good as he was. I mean, to be honest about it, like, I don't know how much that's still injury conditioning, what's going on there, but he hasn't been as good as he was. He was an All-American at the beginning of the year and he was last year, like he had the credentials, but it just hasn't been right since he came back.
He
really.
Been right since he came back.
So, I mean, I do think that's part of it, but at the same time, like, it's frustrating to see them go to like these trick plays with the backup quarterback as opposed to just running the direct snap that we had been doing and had been working anyway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, it felt like a spot where if you can take that pressure off the backup and you have a back like Taylor or even Whaley, I think, could take the snaps. I think he's taken 2 of the direct snaps we've ran this year. You got some guys that could take that pressure off the backup in tight situations like that. I think that would have done them well. I mean, even if they didn't score, it would have been one less thing on Danny's plate, right? Like, I think it just would have done better.
Yeah. I mean, I think at some point, it comes down to a mental thing of you either play not to lose or you say, screw it, we're going to throw some things at the wall and see what sticks and play to win. Mm-hmm. And, Elliott's risk averse. Like, that's just his DNA, and that's just something that we as fans just have to accept. And there are going to be times where that's going to pay big dividends. There are also going to be times where that's going to be incredibly frustrating. Just like the other side of the coin of it is, if he was wide open all the time, there are going to be times you're like, well, great, Danny had 3 fumbles and 4 picks. What were we thinking?
Right.
Throwing the ball 50 times with our backup.
Right.
I don't know what else to say about it. Like, I mean, I'm not saying that it's to excuse him at all. It's the nature of the beast. Like, it sucks, and I wish they would open it up a little bit more, take a few more calculated shots at the very least. But
yeah,
well,
I would have liked to have been at practice on Monday just to see how many guys weren't practicing, because that was a pretty physical game. I mean, there was a lot of big hits. I didn't feel good when we blocked the punt and Cam didn't scoop and score.
Mm.
I was like, oh shit, that was a blown opportunity right there.
Or Kalen getting gassed at the 10-yard line when he's
at the 10 line.
Yeah. I was like, oh, he needs to get in there. Yeah. So you take those two and we win the game.
It's a different game. Yeah, we're winning and we're talking about going to the CFP or whatever, and it would have been different for sure, because Wake does not have that comeback offense. They didn't have a comeback offense.
No, Wake. Yeah, I mean, they didn't have a scoring offense. Their offense didn't score. They didn't put up a touchdown. Like,
goals, that was it. Yep.
Yeah.
But, talking that CFP, though, Jeff, so honestly, for the Who's, I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it was going to be. They dropped down a little. They went down to 19. Last week, they were 14 in the rankings.
I mean,
but they were in the spot of leading the ACC, so to speak. So they were the placeholder for the playoffs. Basically, I mean, what they're doing is they're just putting whatever ACC team is ranked the highest in that spot. So the common fan, okay, Miami's good. To the more knowledgeable, though, Miami's not really in a spot that they're going to get that auto bid. It's going to be tough for them to make the ACC championship game.
It's Georgia Tech's league right now, sort of, kind of.
At the same time, College game days at Pitt. I mean, that tells you something, right?
And rightfully so. Well, Pitt's
earned it. Pitt has a rough road ahead, though. Is the big
if Pitt wins the next 2 games now, they deserve to be in, because they got to knock off Miami and they got to knock off Georgia Tech. Still, so. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
I think they're going to go 1-2 in the last 3 games. I think Notre Dame's going to smack them.
Yeah, because Notre Dame's in prime. Notre Dame's also playing for a playoff spot, and
exactly,
they can't afford one.
Yep.
I thought it was hilarious when I woke up Sunday morning. I was looking at the stand, or Sunday evening, I guess it was. I was reading the standings on the flight home, and you realize that the league that everyone's like is so trash has 5 teams inside the top 25 right now, and all 5 of them have a shot of making the college football playoff. It's not pretty how they got there, but that's
and there's more teams beyond that, right? Like SMU's in a pretty good spot at 5-1. They're not even ranked. I mean, that's a team that could steal the ACC spot. I do think. I mean, I don't have the exact tiebreakers and all that played out because it's such a mess. But I do think it's kind of a Georgia Tech, and then basically the winner of this game, truthfully, because Duke is also one-loss ACC so far. So I think the winner of this game will have a good spot to be a keep winning and you're going to get in situation.
Yeah,
but I mean, there's multiple teams that could get in. I do think, going outside of just Virginia for a minute, I think the biggest thing for the ACC about these rankings this week was Miami being at 15. I think they're positioning it that the ACC is going to get 2 teams in. Because I don't think Miami is going to win the conference, but Miami's in a spot where as long as they don't lose, they can keep moving up, because some of those teams ahead of them have to play each other.
Right. So, a couple teams are going to cannibalize each other. I mean, that's the thing. It's like the Pitt Georgia Tech is going to screw over the conference, or maybe it opens the door. I don't know. It could go either way, I think, because one of them's obviously not going to make it, and then the other one's going to move up. Same thing. I mean, it's not too different than who's playing Duke on Saturday. It's going to hump someone else and can put them into a driver's seat, and the other one's going to be, a couple steps behind as a result. So,
And all those SEC teams, the Texases, Oklahomas, Vanderbilts. I mean, they still have ranked games to play and tough
Yeah.
matchups.
Oklahoma still had a long way to go. It's
You got 2 top 20 matchups in the SEC this weekend.
Mhm.
That's why they're pissed that they didn't get game day SEC. But
Well, I think the problem was the two hosting they'd already been to, right? Wasn't that a lot
right.
of the reason?
Exactly. Yeah, they've already been there, done that, and I mean,
Mhm.
Pitt's a good time. That's a great stadium. There's a lot of tradition there, and Pitt is arguably one of the hottest teams in the country, not named IU or Ohio State. So
yeah, and they get Notre Dame, which every network likes Notre Dame. So
right.
Oh yeah.
And NBC doesn't, or ESPN doesn't get a ton of Notre Dame, so they get a chance to exploit that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And ESPN's going to take advantage of that.
Yeah, and this is probably a situation. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but I think we're all kind of rooting for Pitt to win this game, right? Like Notre Dame is a team that's going to steal an at-large bid from somebody else. Deserving or not, doesn't matter. Notre Dame's going to get that spot if they keep winning. So if they lose, though, I don't think they have a chance of getting in. I think that they can't lose another game this year.
No, yeah, Notre Dame. I mean, everyone's been saying that since they lost to A&M, and that hasn't changed. And yeah, the schedule. I mean, if you think about it, this might be Notre Dame's marquee win if they can knock off Pitt, which is not how their season was supposed to go. But they need this game on Saturday.
Oh yeah, for sure. Did you guys watch any of the game day this past Saturday?
I did, yeah.
Out of Lubbock, yeah.
Yeah, my son-in-law was there, and him and his wife, my daughter, they live in Lubbock, and she got up at 4 to take him and a couple of his buddies to the game day thing, and it was a seismic event. I mean, that guy Joey McGuire, he's turning that thing into something special, big time.
No, I mean, he's a great coach, and I mean, an extra $50 million from a billionaire makes life a little bit easier too. But
sure does, yeah.
But to his credit, to your point though, to Aguirre's credit, he's got the boys humming out there. I've watched Texas Tech a few times this season, and they look great. I watched most of the game on Saturday, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, they're fun, right? I mean, it's a fun team to watch.
Yeah.
How about the former Jacob Rodriguez?
Yeah, he got a lot of screen time, huh? There's good stories there. The mustache thing taking over, people love it.
People in Lubbock are growing mustaches, and where it's crazy. It's good to see. It's good to see because Lubbock is not a very pretty place. I mean,
well, that's the crazy part. It's like, Lubbock is, what was that I saw recently? Isn't it Lubbock? It's like the most isolated school, P5 school geographically in the nation in terms of like how far it is from anything else. Like it's the furthest, like, because it's like 6 hours away from like its next nearest opponent, basically, or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
The town has nothing. Like I've been in and out of Texas a ton, and I've never even made it over there because there's just no reason
to go.
You go there unless you're going to a Tech game. Yeah. And then, you look at what they're face off against in their own state.
Right.
Like, you have two powerhouses in Texas and A&M sitting there in the middle of the north part of the state. You got SMU who's coming back online and also taking some control of the north part. Then in the southeast corner, you got Houston who's also dropping some cash. And then here you are, just stuck out here, you and UT El Paso, basically.
Yeah,
TCU was in the title game a couple of years ago. I mean,
I forgot about TCU still, and Baylor was good for a year.
Right.
But
UTSA. I mean, they've been doing weirdly well the last couple of years.
I'm talking
about you have a team like 10 years ago. So
and I think their coach was one that he was getting a lot of love from every time a big time program opened up. His name was always attached to it. But I mean, they when I was still in South Carolina in July, and the number one defensive end in the country, high school kid from somewhere in Georgia, I think from Savannah, he committed to Texas Tech. Yeah. And this past weekend, they got a commitment from the number one dual threat quarterback from Palestine, Texas, where home of Adrian Peterson.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing well. I mean, I know they're paying those kids a boatload of money, but it's
Right.
it's
But
exciting
you
to
still got
see.
to put them in a position to
Yeah,
play
you still
and
got to play. You still
succeed.
got to play.
You know,
Right. You got to put in the work. You got to put in the practice. You got to do make sure you're studying your opponent. All those things. I mean, you still got
right.
to play the game. Still got to
Right.
play the game.
I mean, even for the money part, like you have to make the atmosphere something that players want to go be a part of.
Yeah.
I just was having this conversation with someone about Colorado. We used to do that 2 years ago, but that feels like a million years ago with
Mm-hmm.
Travis Hunter and Shador out there running like crazy. It's like, how much longer are players really going to want to ship off to Boulder to go 4-8?
Yeah.
Even the money's still flowing. It's just the way it works. If IU doesn't keep winning, no one's going back to Bloomington.
Right.
They don't like Kirsten that much as a coach, as a player.
He's a fraud.
Yeah. I
He's a
want to
fraud.
call him that, but he keeps making me look dumb week in and week out. So maybe it's on me at some point.
We'll see. He got the Oregon win. We'll give him that, I guess. But I mean, he wins a lot, but he also doesn't really play a lot.
Yeah, they get away with playing nobody week in and week out.
Congrats on beating Oregon. I give him all the credit in the world for that. But that's the only game that I'm like, oh wow, you did something.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean the fact that Mendoza engineered that drive on Saturday, I mean, credit to him. But yeah,
I think he is. He reminds me a lot. I think he reminds me a lot of Brian Kelly with his personality.
Yes.
People in Louisiana hate that guy. I mean, not that he's a candidate to go to LSU, but he has that same type of demeanor about him. Just don't know how many kids are going to want to go play for him.
Yeah, as long as it keeps humming, I think he'll be okay. But I don't know. I don't think they can continue to hum at this level. Like I don't know if he's building a program just yet, or if it's more kind of like we just mentioned Baylor, which had a nice little run there for a few years and they got it going, and then the wheels kind of fall off and they're back to being Baylor football again. No one wants to go to Baylor anymore.
Well, at some point, conference scheduling has to catch him too, right? Where he doesn't just play one of the really good teams a year. Like he's going to have to start getting Ohio State, Michigan, Oregon, Washington, USC. I mean, I don't know. You're going to start getting 2 or 3 of those a year. You're not going to keep getting this like a semi-ranked Illinois team to say you beat and then get one big game a year. Like at some point, it's got to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, he got lucky this year. Penn State fell apart. That should have been one. But yeah, I mean. Last year, they absolutely got away with it. And they got exposed at the end of the year because they had that Ohio State game and blew them out. They barely got by a bad Michigan team. The Big Ten's going to cannibalize them at some point. And, to use a Brian Kelly analogy, unlike an LSU, which has a pedigree and a background, that they're going to be fine. They've won 3 national championships with 3 coaches in the last 20 years. Yeah. They're going to bring in a national championship coach again next year, and who will win them one, I guarantee you, the next 4 years.
Oh yeah.
But the only reason Brian Kelly did is because, to your point, everyone hates Brian Kelly because he's not a very good person, and so
you reap what you sow, brother. Right? I mean, that's how I look at it. So
bingo.
Speaking of the last name Kelly, that weird trick play we tried to do with the bunches on the outside and the middle. The last time I saw that run was Chip Kelly with the Philadelphia Eagles. And it did the exact same thing. Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy! He's got to do something crazy!" And then he did that same play. He threw it to the flat out to the left, and nothing happened. Everyone's like, "What the hell was that? What the hell is that?" Yeah. I mean, has anybody seen that play actually work? Whatever they did, because I've only seen it twice. So,
I mean, that's a crazy part about a lot of those trick plays. I'm sure some of these stat guys or whatever are compiling the databases with that, but like in general, just across football, because I feel like, if you watch a lot of football, you see like all these wild formations and stuff. Like some coaches like them more, and I'm like, I never see them work. Like it's got to have a success rate of like less than, and I'm not opposed to trick plays. I think trick plays are good ones, good, but like when you start doing these funky formations and stuff, I feel like it works like less than 10% of the time across the sport, maybe.
I mean, I think I saw JB who even write about this, where he was saying, "Oh, well, that would have worked if we had just blocked correctly on the little pod on the left."
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. I mean, everything had to go perfect. right?
Yeah, well,
Right.
that's the problem is it's low percent because it's predicated on making those assignments. Like you had 3-on-3,
Right.
you had the numbers you wanted there to block, and you have your guy behind it to catch. But the problem is when you set that play up and you have 3 guys whose numbers are in the 70s with a freaking running back behind them, right? Like it's not very hard to figure out what's about to happen.
Right.
If you're going that way, it's going to be as essentially like a drawn out screen, and you're going to have those guys in front and just try to get across. So it's easy as a defender to shoot that gap because you know exactly what's coming.
100%. And you have those guys out in space where, like, it's a lot different if you play guard or tackle blocking, especially if you play guard. You have a person on 6 inches on either side of you versus you're out there in space and you have a back who's a little bit unpredictable because he's trying to just survive. And, like, you're just asking a lot of things to go right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what it was. Is he shot the gap and just made the play.
Right.
I mean, that's all it was.
Yeah. He made a play. He did what he was supposed to do. He saw the play coming and he jumped it. And was that the same guy that was on punt coverage? I think one of them was for sure, or probably 2 of them were. They need to be on the line of scrimmage. They should never go outside the hash marks ever.
Yeah. I mean, you can let them have a big trap or something. I mean, if you're running even a proper screen, but that's what blows up even a proper screenplay is you get those guys out there in space, and a good, smart defender knows, to your point, JB, that as soon as they see those guys dropping back into space, just fire off of the first, single-digit guy you can find and just drill them because the ball's going there, or it's going to be there when you get there.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you go to the offensive tackle, like we've tried before.
You're down there, you're close to the line, I guess, to the goal line, but like at the same time as a defender, that like they can't come upfield to get you either, right? Like they got to wait on the catch to go. So it's so easy to just jump that. I mean, it's if they would have made the block, it would have worked. And I did say that in real time, he did miss the block. I mean, that's a fact. He did miss the block.
You're not wrong.
But it's also it's a play that I think Dragon, me and you talked about this. If he would have made the block and we'd have scored, Dez would have been a genius, right? Everybody would have said,
exactly.
The trickery with the backup quarterback in and taking care of things. But it's a play that's low percentage, and when it doesn't work, you come across as an idiot, right? I mean, it just wasn't a good look.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing too. In a game where you quite frankly had nothing else to show for how you called it, your play calling, you can't afford to have a negative against your name.
You can't have the black eyes,
we've been a C student all game. You can't afford an F and still expect to pass.
Right.
But we'll move on from that, though, right? Well, let's go to Duke. So Duke is coming in. They only have the one ACC loss, but they're coming off a pretty rough one. They lost to UConn over the weekend. One of those rare games where they go up to UConn in November. I don't know.
I didn't know that just now. I literally did not know that just now. Looked at the schedule and saw that. That's hilarious.
Yeah. So Mensa, the quarterback, is everything for them. I mean, he's their all-world guy. Everything kind of goes with him. And he had a rough game. 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. Completion percentage, I think, was under 70. I don't think it was really super great. They put up some points. I mean, they put up 34, but they also couldn't stop UConn. So
they gave up 467 yards of offense, and they turned the ball over 3 times.
Yep. Yeah, it was 2 interceptions and a fumble, I believe it was.
Whew. I need to go back and watch this game. This actually looks like this is the exciting game I was looking for last week.
Could have had this on your phone in the stadium or something. But this is one of those weird ones where I think Duke comes in and just truthfully their defense is not very good, but their offense can run with anybody. So I think it's a game where honestly we kind of need Chandler, right? It's weird. So like in this situation with the concussion or whatever, as a fan, I think one thing that's cool about UVA fans is we seem to be a little bit more invested in our guys and their actual lives and well-being than some other schools are. Some schools treat these guys like factory, you're a number, go score, and then we're excited you go on, but that's it. And I feel like a lot of the Virginia following actually keeps up with what these guys do once they're not Cavaliers anymore, like not wearing the uniform. So I think first and foremost for us, like the thing with concussions is once you clear protocol, it kind of means you're in the good, right? Like if there's nothing lingering, it means things are advancing. So in this situation, like for us, wishing him the best is wishing him back on the field, right? I mean, that's kind of the way I look at it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. Like, I want to see him play. I want to see him finish. I want him to be healthy and everything, but I want to see him play.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. I think it kind of benefits us both ways, right? Like him getting back on the field is good for us, but it's also good for his health that he's back on the field. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. But I do think they're going to need him. I mean, I don't know that we're going to be able to keep up with Duke, even with how bad their defense is without him.
No, we got to score points. And looking at Duke's defense a little bit here and seeing how bad their secondary is, my goodness! Like, please give us a half a Chandler who can just sling the ball 30 times for us. And which I've been hammering we should run the ball more. And this is one I'm like, let's put that ball in the air.
Yeah.
But
who would go in if everybody goes out?
Is what I want.
Who would go in if Chandler can't play and then Caitlin gets knocked out?
I think it's
Cole Greer.
Isn't it?
Cole Greer's third
string. Greer, yeah. That's right. It is. It's Greer.
So I was going to ask you guys, maybe it's just me, but did our offense productivity really take a hit when our guy Trell, whenever he got hurt, didn't he miss a game or game and a half? Because he was our deep threat, correct? He was the guy that So whenever he went down, we kind of got exposed a little bit on the offensive side of the ball.
We definitely lost the ability to take the top off the defense. I think right around that same time, right around when Vaughn and Brown went out too, we kind of lost it. So suddenly now you're relying on two backs, which is great, but it was really nice when you had four backs. Everyone was fresh constantly, and they were hungry to outperform each other because they wanted more plays and more touches. And nowadays you're seeing our backs kind of start to wear down a little bit during games. And but yeah, Terrell being out, Twitty going out as well, that can't be overlooked. He was another guy who could open things up and spread things out, suck up some of those linebackers underneath, which then open things up over top. The injuries are real, but it's football.
Yeah. Well, I do think Twitty is one that I'm going to make sure I give the right person credit. I think it was Embrace Pace that put it out there first, our guy Dan. Basically saying how the play calling has changed since Twitty went out. And I mean, that's true. It seems like he was a guy that the staff had a lot of confidence in, especially when they're going to the two tight end looks. And they really haven't run those plays at all. I mean, it's been a kind of a different offense, really. If you want to correlate it, that was a key spot where things started to change.
Well, I mean,
absolutely. I mean, because he was that receiving target that camped out in the middle of the field.
Bingo.
And too many, you see it. You guys watch a lot of football too, but for the life of me, I don't know why offenses don't take more advantage of the middle of the field, because it's there. You watch any game, anytime, and why are we not throwing in the middle third of the field? I mean.
You think about really the great offenses that you've seen across sports recently in the last 10 to 15. That's what they're doing. There's a reason those offenses that have a Gronkowski or a Travis Kelce in them are having so much success, just because they're challenging. They're putting those guys out there, letting them either do, like you said, drag, or they're just going up a seam and forcing a linebacker or a safety to make a decision. And you just need to. I mean, granted, those two guys also have a Hall of Fame quarterback, but it happens even with teams that don't have Hall of Fame quarterbacks. You're just, those linebackers are going to vacate that space, especially if you have a good running game. They're going to vacate that space and suck up, and there's just going to be an opportunity there. We definitely lost that opportunity when Twitty went out.
Yeah,
for
kind
sure.
Of the same way too with Trell and with the two backs you mentioned, Brown and Vaughn, when they were out. We lost a lot of the explosiveness of the offense, right? Like Taylor and Whaley are two extremely good backs, but both those guys to me are downhill runners. They're not really like the home run threat per se. I mean, they can break them, and I understand that, but they're not the type of electric when the ball's in their hands, right? Their guys are just going to pound you down.
Yeah.
And that was something that kind of cost the offense too a little bit. I mean, it's led into a lot of why teams are able to kind of stack the box more and to play closer to the line and get in more than they have. That's been. And
they don't leak out as much in the passing game either. It's the other thing too. It's like you put Vaughn out, well, he can let him leak out the backfield, and suddenly, to Cav's point, if you have him leaking out on a wheel, you have Twitty doing a drag or something, a little slant across the middle, like. That's putting a lot of pressure on. That's asking a question of a defense when you can actually It looks like you're lined up with 2 or 3, and suddenly you have 5 guys in routes, and you have a smart quarterback who knows how to get through his progressions quickly. Now you're working all the dimensions. You're going vertical, you're going with, horizontal, and we've just lost that ability here in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's all true. It's been a lot of what the issue has been. Now, that said, I mean, I think the team's good enough, and I think they can scheme a little better to adjust for these things. I mean, I don't think it's like end of the world doom and gloom stuff for us, but it is stuff that, I mean, is fair to question and needs some work. I mean, I think that's all completely fair.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, looking at Duke right now. I've really played since the early part of the season, and I'm really watching that Cal game, and I was really worried because I was like, I love their running back, Nate Shepard. It's the first year.
Mhm.
And now I'm actually looking at his numbers across the season. I'm like, oh, they're actually not, they're not crazy. What Duke does do a good job of is they will use tempo, and they will get after you. They will wear you down with that. And I think that's where some of these explosive plays come from them, is they basically have tempo 90% of the time, whether it's a first down or not. So, and that's something that we've seen give the Virginia secondary issues in getting those calls in and relayed back across.
Yeah, we try to do some up tempo stuff after we get a first down. You guys notice that? We try to.
I love it. I
go,
thought when they were doing it in the early part of the season, it was amazing.
Oh
yeah.
Yep. But we had all the pieces. Now we're missing a couple of those pieces. We got to be a little more economical with our plays, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is one Dragon in your wheelhouse. What have you been keeping up with the line? Did you notice the movement?
It dropped. Like, we actually were back within a touchdown. I think the last I saw it had gotten down to about 3, I want to say.
Yeah, so ESPN right at the moment has it at 4.5, but yeah, I've seen it around 3 in some of the books.
Yeah,
and I think everybody was kind of a
little high.
consensus 6.5 before that.
Yeah, I would say I know it was open at like 6.5, which, I mean, I'm looking it up again right now, but that tells me that's obviously that was without Morris. It dropping that much makes me think that there's a really good shot that Morris does, try it out there. I think it'd be hilarious if Tony Elliott took a note from what's his name out of Utah and actually just have your quarterback come out dressed, taped, and everything for warm up, and then you go to opening kick and you sit on the sideline in the hoodie, which what's his name? Whittingham has done that multiple times. So in fact, he's actually getting called out for it by the NCAA. But he makes Bill Belichick look like a child's play when it comes to hiding injuries to his QB the last few seasons.
Well, I mean, I think there will be a little gamesmanship, right, to this. Like UVA, of course, we all know is very tight to the vest with those types of things and injury and issue concerns, right? But I mean, I do think there's a little bit of like sportsmanship to it too, of not tipping your hand too much as to what's going to go on.
Oh yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say anything. I was notorious about that when I coached. I'm not giving anything away. It's even now when I compete, I don't post stuff, on social media beforehand. If I'm dinged up or anything, I don't want anyone to know. I think that's absolutely the right thing to do. And I would, I would, if I was Elliot, I would be on my players all the time. It's like the other week here, I put in one of my articles where I saw King down at Georgia Tech tweeted out that he was pissing blood one week. I'm like, dude, you shut that stuff up. You don't tell
right.
Yeah.
You don't even tell your own coach that. If you're good at the play, you don't even tell your own coaching staff that.
Right.
But yeah, I agree. Like, there's got to be a bit of gamesmanship there. If I'm Elliott, I'm saying all week. Again, I'm not saying that Morris is playing until Saturday morning when they actually make me. If I can, I'm going to put the 2 deep out with or something like that, and just go with it. And
I think
they're not going to fine you for it. So.
Is it by rule now the ACC has to have them in Friday night? Is that the rule now, I think?
I think so. I think
you have to have a they say 24-hour notice, but it's like the night before situation, I think is how it works.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think you're right. So, I would hold it up until that last minute. I wouldn't give any indication.
Which even that, though, I think you are allowed to put like probable or doubtful. I think those are options at least. I don't know exactly how all that works or what the rulings are officially, but I think there's a little bit still to play with there. But they do have to put some type of format, I think, Friday night, I believe. Some of this.
Yeah, something has to be available just because we're in a gambling society now. But, it also the ACC doesn't have a lot of teeth in terms of what they can do to crack down on it. So, you fudge it a little bit. It's not like they're going to suspend you, most likely, especially on a first-time offender.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. I guess 3:30 ESPN2 this week. Hopefully, everyone's found a workaround for these TV contract negotiations bullcrap that's been going on. I've been finally getting mine settled. Yeah, it's still not on YouTube TV. We're going into week 3 of this, and my stuff all ends today, so I can switch to Hulu in the morning. So I'm just going to be doing that, I guess. I'll be honest, I really don't care who's in the right or wrong here, like YouTube, Disney, who's the bigger bully. I just want to be able to watch the game. That's all I care about.
Right.
I'm paying somebody some money to watch the game. I don't really care who's the worst.
And the user, it doesn't matter to you. Like your game day experience is basically the same, decided with bell whistle here and there. They're still going to charge $25 or $70, whatever it is, and so.
Yep. I do want to. The last thing I want to talk about real quick. I don't know how many people have seen. I was kind of surprised by some of the negative feedback we got on the forum over this a little bit ago. Have you guys all seen the new uniform look? So it's white jersey, blue pants, but the new white helmets with the Virginia like the cursive font.
Yeah,
I think it looks fine.
I love it. I don't know why people are so down on it, honestly. I think it looks great. I do think upon looking at it again, I think the fact that it's like a blue outline to the letters filled in with the white on the white helmet, I do think that looks better than, say, if it was like all blue or blue and orange or orange at all. I don't know. If it wasn't like the white on white like that with the outline, I don't think I'd like it as much. But I think it looks great. I love it.
Sorry, I got to look at it again. I don't like it. I don't.
I like it. I like how I don't like the blue outline, how the word fits on the side. Like it doesn't look too big to me. I mean, I think it looks great. I'm a fan of it.
Yeah, I don't like. I think it's the blue outline I don't like more than anything. I don't like the cursive in general, but I don't like the blue outline either.
Oh man, Dragon breaking my heart. This is my favorite look. Like I wish we would adapt that cursive like from the baseball to everything. Like I'd love a good like alternate basketball uniform this year with that. I think it's my favorite.
I like old school stuff, so I'm always going to be for that same thing. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't like it. Also, at one point,
there you go.
Who's play.
Pretty old school right there.
Jeff knows what's going on. Yeah,
that's our best look right there. There it is. Like football uniforms should be kept. So I think for Virginians, they look best when they're simple. Maybe play with the trim a little bit, but the cursive I don't get. But I was also going to say, last night watching the Who's play, at one point I looked at it, I was like, why are the Knicks on my TV? I don't know when our jerseys look like bad knockoff uniforms, but that's what they look like right now.
Man, I don't know. Yeah. I kind of like what Odom's doing there. I mean, it's different, right? I think the problem, honestly, is how badly Nike did us and Tony refusing to go away from it for the last.
I didn't have that much of a problem with the Nike jerseys. Like, I know people like want to burn them in effigy or whatever. I was like, they're fine. Like, they weren't bad. There were some bad ones, yes, but overall, I didn't think it's a big deal. Generally speaking, I don't actually give a crap what the team's wearing, as long as it's the school colors for the most part. But
the only problem I had with those jerseys that when Tony was there was the font, the Virginia font, and I watched a little of the VPI game tonight before this. They played St. Joe's, and there it is underneath their basket, that same Virginia font that that we have now gotten accustomed to. It looks identical.
It does.
It looks identical, and I'm not a fan of that. And speaking of uniforms, I wish that if we were going to do an alternate helmet, that we would do something kind of either. I like the matte finish, the matte finish on the helmets, and I also like the daggone transformer finish. The one that's real shiny and. I think Carolina wore them a couple years ago, and I hated the fact that they did it first. But I like that look, and I'm a big Oregon fan. I like what they do with their uniforms.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I go back to this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
it's
that's
neat.
my thing. It's like to me,
but. I'm going to go back to this.
Yeah, like I do like a good alternative uniform, but like to me, Virginia football is always going to be the orange jersey with the white pants with just a flat white. Like the '89 boys are like, that's my wheelhouse. Yeah. Your jersey there in the wall. I've been looking at it the whole time. Like I would take that off the wall and bring it home. Like that's just a classic look. And it's just for some schools, I think it works well with the contrast of the orange and white, orange and blue. It works well for Virginia. As long as it'll come out looking like Miami did 3 weeks ago, and the camouflage had just blended right in with everything. I'll be okay with it.
The best comment I've ever seen was right after that Louisville game, and they said that Beck already threw 5 interceptions, and now they're camouflaging his wide receivers.
He threw like 3 interceptions that game with the camo. It didn't help.
Making it harder for him to see him.
I did like some people were also doing some nice little green screen stuff with them because they were green and he blended right in. You could have some good fun with those.
That's good. You know, I will say the one throwback that I didn't like, because I'm kind of like that. I do like other uniforms. I'm not a super big fan of just random colors. Like, I don't think we need black uniforms for anything, you know? Like, I just don't like that type of stuff. But I really didn't like the helmets that we did that were supposed to be the retro look. That was the capital U, capital V with the little A. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I just do not like how that looks. I mean, as a school emblem and pride thing, it's fine. But, like, on a uniform, I just think that looks terrible.
Yeah, that didn't. And as someone who spells it out that way all the time, those didn't land for me. I also disliked everything during the later Grow London era where we started going to the poor man Cleveland Browns / Clemson uniforms where it's kind of mess with the orange, all orange, or the blue with the orange. And it's just like, I don't know, that combination just never worked for me the way it came across.
Yeah.
I think orange pants with a white shirt. That's a good look. I like that look.
It's more when they do the orange and blue together. It's when the combination becomes orange and blue. Like for a while there, they were wearing the blue pants and they tried the orange tops and they went blue and blue.
I don't like
and
that.
Too much.
Yeah, it was just too much. I just didn't like that.
That was London, wasn't it? Wasn't London?
Yeah, I think it was London. I can't remember. I think you're right. I think it was either late Grow or early London. It was one or the other. But I think you're probably right. It's London.
Well, towards the end of London, we got some kind of wild ones too. Didn't we have that one that was like a silver, and it had the like metallic look to it? You know what I'm talking about on the helmets?
There we go.
You don't like that uniform. I didn't like that. I didn't like the helmet. The uniform was okay, but the helmet.
Yeah, I'm not. The helmet's not. Yeah,
the helmet's not on right there. Yeah.
Jersey's not the worst thing, I guess. I don't know. It's okay, but I like the white hanging behind you more. I like that jersey more.
Yeah, for sure. George didn't like that either. He hated that. I heard him talking about that one time. He did not like that UVA thing on the side of the helmet. But that retro helmet that they wore one year didn't have like a football shaped emblem on the side with the V on it.
They did have one of those, yeah.
They do have
kind of like an oblong circle type thing.
Yes, yeah.
I wasn't real big on that. It almost looked like the BYU look, I guess, but with a V. Right. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, the U with the V and the little A was the one that bothered me the most. I don't mind it in general speaking in term and pride, but I did not like it on a uniform. I just thought it looked awful. But I'm excited for these. I like this cursive look. I think it's fun.
Well,
they're not terrible.
Maybe it'll shake the fellas up a little bit. I don't know. But I tell you what, I coming off a loss, I will say, and I think Dragon and I exchanged some texts a day or two after the loss last Saturday. To me, it felt a lot like when we lost to Georgia Tech years, when we were number one for those couple weeks.
91, yeah.
91, yeah. And you're like, wow, what do we do now? And hopefully, because we collapsed like a cheap tent after that, right? Then we lose like 3 games in a row, and
I think so.
Sean Moore got hurt and went to the Sugar Bowl, and he could not throw the ball, but he was still playing. That was sad to see. But I hope that Tony has circled the wagons and everybody is back in step and ready to go. Because I don't hate a lot of things, but I hate everything that has those 4 words, 4 letters, DUKE. I cannot stand them in any sport: football, basketball, baseball, lacrosse. My God, they own us in lacrosse. I hate that fact that we just absolutely, when that ball is out on the field, we act like we don't know what we're doing. But that's for another podcast and some other time. But yeah, my hatred for those people is large, and And I will post every time that Duke loses anything. Duke loses, America wins.
Yeah, I really thought when Mike Pressler got fired, we would be much better off with them, but it didn't happen. So
No, they've gotten better.
yeah, I know. Yeah,
which
they were
is
a good team
crazy.
before, yeah.
Yeah, I can get behind that. Duke is my least favorite too of the rivals. I mean, Virginia Tech. Honestly, the Virginia Tech stuff doesn't even bother me that much because I'm like, that is all they have. Like, it's really not. I don't even care at this point. Like, it's kind. I mean, I want to beat them now because I want the opportunity to play for a championship, right? But like, that game doesn't mean the same to me that it might have meant 15 years ago or whatever. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's a big one. It is a big one for me. It's definitely lost some of its bite. I think not being in Virginia helps out a lot. Like, Josh, you're like from where I'm from as well, so it's like we kind of live in that borderline area, and you get it as well. You're from Charlottesville, but like you live in that borderline area, especially you start getting up into the mountains where it's like you start getting a lot more Hokie fans around. And I'm of that age that, you know, I remember Mike Vick coming and I watched that area switch to become very Hokie prominent.
Oh, yeah.
So like that one wears on me a little bit, but now I'm away from it. And I don't see that many Tech fans really ever around. And when I do, it's just more of a congenial ribbing. It doesn't bother me as much. UNC is still kind of the big one to me. Like, I don't know. I still hold that old school of just, you know, my friends and I have a thing. We'll just say that's 365. We hate 365 right there. And it just is.
It's interesting for me because honestly, I'm with Jeff. I don't like Duke. They're the ones I really can't stand. And because the Duke-UNC rivalry is such a big thing, I generally root for North Carolina. I mean, in that game, but also like I don't really mind them having success for the conference either. I mean, truthfully.
Yeah.
I don't mind if they have success football-wise. I don't mind it because it's rare. Like when they have success football-wise for the conference, I'm like, oh, that's kind of like us getting good and getting hot on the year. It happens once every 15 or so years, but yeah.
I just, you know, my hatred for them when, you know, what's his name? Spurrier coached at Duke. You know, and that's where I think that was his first head job, if I'm not mistaken. And so he was really arrogant and cocky and, you know, said some really bad stuff exactly about who he was playing and so forth and so on. And then fast forward many, many years later, when Danny Ferry was at at Duke, Tom Sheehy told me this one night that when it was right after we played them, and Sheehy got ejected because he threw the ball at Danny Ferry on a inbounds play. Well, right before that, when Ferry was boxing him out, he reached behind him and grabbed him in the crotch. He grabbed Sheehy in the man parts, and that's why he took the ball and immediately threw it at his head. And you know, Ferry was smart from the standpoint he got our best player at the time thrown out, but you know, I lost a lot of respect for them. And then Coach K, you know, he was always very gracious when they won, but my God, that was the worst loser in the world. I mean, he, you know, go by and shake hands and do the whole pat on the chest whenever they won, but when they lost, it was right to locker room.
So, yeah, I mean, he's a piece of work. I was like, on the basketball side, I don't miss him at all. And his whole, I need to go on a tour and say goodbye, and I have a lot of Coach Tate thoughts.
We could do that one all night. I don't want to go there. I'd be here all night. We can talk about this into the morning. It's just not.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. It's good. We all feel the same way. But yeah, so that's it. The Who's play 3:30 Saturday, ESPN2. Coming out of this, there's only one game left, right? So we'll have a bye week, so that'll be good. Everybody gets to rest up, heal up, get some good practice time in, and then that's it. The rivalry game, Virginia Tech to end the season. Virginia wins this game against Duke. They have a good chance at that game being a play into the ACC championship for them. It's not fully locked in, but the probability is pretty high. I think it's like 93% if they win. That all they'd have to do is beat Tech to get in. So, I mean, it's more likely than not, most likely even. And the big thing I think to remember too, Tony Elliott, undefeated at UVA coming out of a bye. So he's got that going for him. I mean, we'll see if that is a jinx or a blessing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I think personally getting the bye week will be good because we do have a lot of guys that have been playing banged up and some offensive linemen that are missing time on top of that. And from some of the sounds, it sounds like they might think they could be pretty close to full health by the Tech game. So, I mean, that'd be good. Let's get through this one, get a win, no injuries, and let's get there.
Is that Virginia Tech game? Is that on Black Friday or is it
on
Saturday?
Saturday.
On Saturday.
We have a basketball game on that Friday.
Yeah, there is a basketball game. They play Queens at 4:00 on Black Friday. If anybody's around
Queens,
town.
huh?
Yeah, Queens.
Right, going after it, dude.
Yeah, so that'll be fun. It was kind of cool too. So going back real quick just before we close out, I thought it was kind of neat. I'm sure you guys saw this. They moved this weekend's basketball game up a little bit to accommodate us to be able to watch football too.
That's great.
I see that.
Yeah. So Marshall was supposed to be at 2:00. They moved it up to 12 because football's at 3:30.
Yeah.
Sweet, double header.
Yeah, so we love that.
Awesome.
I do think I want to say the basketball game though is a ESPN app only situation. So if you're in town, go. If not, try to figure out the ESPN app. I know we had issues last night. It was a pain in the butt with them starting late and then saying it was blacked out and we missed like 5 or 6 minutes of game time. It was very frustrating. But it's kind of cool though. At least they're accommodating us a little bit this time. Yeah,
that's good. Impressive that they're doing that. But I got a good feeling. I think we're going to win. I think we're going to win 24-14. That's my prediction Saturday.
Okay, what you got, Jazz? What do you think?
So I think it'll be a little closer than that just because our defense is still going to give up chunk yardage just based on what I saw at Wake. I mean, they're going to give some chunk yardage, but they're still going to lock it down. So I would say 30-27, one field goal because we can't have nice things and have be comfortable in the fourth quarter.
Okay, I can take that. Dragon, I want to go last on this one. I'm gonna get you to go next if you don't mind.
All right. Yeah, I think we're gonna give up some points here just because Duke throws the ball so well. They're fourth in the country passing the ball right now, 312 yards a game. So I think we're going to see some points. I think if Chandler's able to go, Who's can stick with it. Like 31-27 going Virginia's way.
I like that. Reason I wanted to go last here is not to get ahead of it, but I don't know if we talked about this on the show or not, but Dragon, I know you and I have talked about this even if it wasn't on air. This entire thing since we beat Florida State to me has felt like this season was going to come down to the Virginia Tech game. Be it whatever that ultimately meant for us, there was going to be something hanging in the balance of beating Tech, right? Like going to the ACC championship, making the Pop-Tart Bowl. I don't know, whatever our ultimate end goal here was, to me, it's just felt like it's meant to be. It's going to have to come down to beating Tech, right? I don't care that much about the game, but that's just, it feels like the way the world's going to go. So I do think that the Hoos are going to get it done, and I think it's going to come down to beating Tech to make the ACC championship. I don't want to go full symmetry because honestly, I think that 37-34 score that they just lost to UConn by looks about right. So I'll go 37-31 on this one.
Nice.
Yeah,
we all got the Who's winning, right?
Yeah. 4-0, right? We're gonna
I got them bouncing back. I think they
get the win, get rested up, and get ready for Tech and whatever that ultimately means for this team. I think that's the big like I said, I mean, to me, it doesn't matter, but I do feel like that's like a door that's going to have to be knocked down to get to where we want to go.
Yeah, I can vibe with that.
It feels like the world, just the way the universe lines up is just the way it's going to have to be, right? Like, we'll see what happens. Though. I mean, I feel good. The Who's play 3:30 Saturday, ESPN2. We'll be back next week. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Jazz, for coming on with us. That was fun. Good time.
Oh yeah, thanks, guys. Always enjoy chopping it up with you guys. Awesome. Good job. Appreciate it.
We're almost there, fellas. A couple more games.
One off-topic shout out. I just want to apologize for the outage this week. Wasn't my fault, but it's
yeah. You and Tito
back up and running,
straight.
Right?
Yeah, we're all back up and running. So everything should be good now. And
I think that's why the Who's lost
anybody
on
has any
Saturday
problems,
because
let me
y'all
know.
jinxed it. If we had the form up and running, I'd have been live commentating from the booth. But no, y'all had to screw it up.
It was probably a good thing we were having issues.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I got service back right.
I mean, the true hero is Sharma. I don't know if you guys know him or not, but he's one of our back end admins in India. So he's the one that's got it back up and running. So
well, we appreciate that for sure.
The hidden hero.
Yes, sir.
But, all right. That's it. We'll see you guys next week. Go Who's.
Yep. Appreciate talking to you guys.
See you guys.